if you're going to mess with particles, you need to have a particles folder inside your levels arc shapes folder like this. You can find this in the game install location. There is a game engine.zip in your Steam library where your game is installed. You extract it on the desktop. You go to art, shapes, and copy that folder because that's the folder you're going to put in your levels art slash shapes folder. This way you can make changes and save those changes, and it only affects the particles on that particular level. It is easy to overwrite the game's particles, which are in the core install folder of your Steam library, and you don't want to do that. So you load F11, load your game, hit F11, and I'll show you like the particles I've piddled around with for black plastic chunk. I'm sorry, plastic chunk is what it's called. You see it spinning there, that big piece of plastic. Now go to particle editor if you have that folder placed, and what you'll see is the default emitter. Um, Up here, change this to say 56, 57, and 58. All three of them. See, that is the particle that I told it to do. That's what I told it to do. Okay, and for 57, I'm not even sure what the hell I was doing. Oh, that's for the dummy. That's blood or little gore chunks. 58 is the other one. Yeah, see, there's yet another part. Now, you see how many of them are being flown, spun, flung all around. But when the game, and this applies for glass, plastic chunk, water splash, pretty much. I'm not sure about water splash. I do know that this, though, this plastic, for example, is, let me grab this car and fling it around a bit. You'll see, like when things break on it, actually, you know what? I can put it in slow motion. It makes it easier. Now, when things break off of it, you'll see some little black plastic pieces floating. Those are the big ones that I just showed you. But there's nowhere near the volume coming out of them that now any other time I could wreck this car pretty easily. But you see the different ones, but there's nowhere near as many being ejected. So that's what I'm like, well, I don't know. There's got to be somewhere else that there's some kind of limiter that's applied globally that helps the game performance where it doesn't allow things to exceed a certain number. Which I get it. I would rather have the thing take more resources and look more realistic myself. No doubt I would take the performance hit to have more realism. But I guess they look at it, I'm just speculating, in general, what would make the majority of the people happy. Yeah, so, yeah, I would like to make them emit more things. But if you wanted to try to edit them, you just go into the particle editor. You pick that particular particle. Which we'll say 56. Well, number one is sparks. So that's another one. So like, yeah, you can edit the particle and you can tell it to, let me put the camera back at real time. I think still in slow motion. Okay. You can edit the particle for sparks, and you can tell it to do various different things. You know, the wind to blow it, how much gravity it's got, constant acceleration. I mean, there's a ton of things you can do, but the lifespan in milliseconds, how long the particle will go on for, like I can increase this to like 10,000, and the particle will go on farther, longer, before it stops, but the game will still cut it off. It won't let it go forever, as you told it here to do. I mean, there may be something I'm overlooking. I don't know. But I always hit the little save button here, and then in the emitter, never hit save emitter to its file. That'll overwrite the game's particles. When you save emitter to current level, it saves it to that particles folder. Ejection period milliseconds. If this is 1, this is like the most it can put out. This is absolutely the most. You can make the sparks different sizes, different colors, different opacities. Let's just save this. You'll see what this did. Now let's grab a piece of car and fling it around, and yeah, you may see a large sparkle from the sparks, but you're not going to see the volume of them coming out like that. And there's still only a few coming out. Yeah, they are larger, but there's still just a few. You know, this is something I'd like to know too, guys. If anybody figures it out, let me know, because I am also interested in knowing how to do that. But it seems like the game's got some kind of like governor, like limiter or something that just says, okay, well, no matter what, only put out this many particles, no matter what the thing says. It's like you can load the file and look at it. In that level, you can load that particle. Small grid, art, shapes, particle. You got the manage particle emitter and particle data. The particle is the one thing I was working on, and the emitter is the other thing. And it tells it the textures, the colors, the sizes. This is actually the particle. The emitter is this one. It defines how the emitter behaves. And see, ejection millisecond. That's what I just changed to 1 that showed like a lot of sparks. Like, if you find that in here, which is should be number 1, sparks. You see, I changed it to 1, but it doesn't reflect that in the game for some reason. I thought maybe override advance, maybe one of these different things might have. I have no luck getting it to behave differently. So I suspected somewhere in the core install, where the game is installed in the game engine zip, somewhere in here, there's probably a luau, whatever you call it, that's defined in, but I have no luck finding it. Yes, I found particle related stuff in here, but nothing anything different than what I've already messed with. But you know, I don't know. There could be somewhere in there. You may find it, because I couldn't. But you know, I may have been looking in the wrong place. Maybe it's a data block, you know, or maybe it's in something like this. You know, I don't know. Maybe this is it. Maybe I stumbled on it. I doubt that. This is the default particle, though, here. But these are for light flares. These aren't for the particle emitters. Particle, now that is default particle. That's just a sound. See, it could be somewhere like this that I just ain't uncovered. But this ain't it, because they ain't all in here. They would all be in here, or at least the ones that have limiters. So these are just the sun flares. Some of these are different, but you get what I'm saying. Light flare. There's probably something somewhere. Like I said, I just didn't find where it's at. I thought it'd be somewhere like this, though, if it does exist. Uh, Maybe this is it. There's just more light stuff. This is more light related particles. Torch, light, fires. That's the thing, I don't know. There's some stuff they were experimenting with, it looks like. Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know. But let me know if y'all figure it out.